guys, Michael Valentino from Crusader Caravans in Campbellfield, Victoria. Today we bring you one of our handover tutorial videos in relation to cleaning your grey water tank. There's a heap of discussion in relation to be able to, do we clean the grey water tank? Do we flush the grey water tank? How do you clean the grey water tank? Today we're going to show you the method that we use here at the dealership and a method that we find quite useful. The grey water tanks fitted by Crusader actually have an external flush valve, so it is a hose point that the hose goes onto in order to be able to clean the grey water tank. Unfortunately, due to us grotty humans putting disgusting things down our sinks, we have to give it a bit of a more thorough clean, and what that involves is we have to use a little bit of degreaser, and this guy here is an easy off drain liquid, so it's the closest and probably most eco-friendly option we have rather than tipping the old Drano down the sink. We need something that's going to actually get the grease, all the grime, all the hair, all the fats, all of the bodily oils off of that sender probe that's located on the top of the tank. Hopefully this will resolve the issue for a lot of people when they're touring around using their grey water tank rather than having to manually remove and clean it. That is something that you will have to do from time to time. It is a serviceable item, but hopefully this method here will alleviate a bit of the headache. So, how do we do it? So, there's two parts to this. We have to do an inside part and an outside part. So first of all, first part, get yourself some drain cleaner. Just an example, of course, is the eco-friendly option. I think if you're going to be going to caravan parks and dumping this sort of stuff into their drain systems, ideally we'd like something that's a little bit eco-friendly rather than the old carcinogenic Drano. We undo this. What we want to do is the grey water tank, ideally, we want it empty. So we want it 0%. So on our water tank gauge, we want it 0%. So on the PM300, PM200, or just a manual press water tank gauge, 0% is what we're going for. We undo this guy here. So we're going to undo it. We put about a cup of this material into the sink. So this here runs directly to the grey water tank. So we empty it, fill a cup straight down. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get about 10 litres or so, just track it on the water gauge through our fresh water tanks. So you want to get it to about the 25% mark, 10 to 15. Less is more because we don't want to dilute it too much. We turn it on, water goes down into the sink, fills up the water into the grey water tank, and then what we've got is a high concentrated amount of the drain liquid, and we also have a high concentrated amount of water in the grey water tank. That is just as you're going to depart. So let's say you're at home, you need to give the grey water tank a clean. You would do this before we hook up and before we drive off. But the aim is, whilst you're driving around, all of that liquid's going to be swooshing around the tank, and it's going to be hitting all of those greasy points and getting the grit and the grime from all of our oils and hairs and fats all off of those sensors and remove the all the grit and grime from that sensor. After we've driven 3, 4, 100k, whatever it may be that you're driving, a fair bit of time, ideally what we do is we then go outside. So follow me and I'll show you the outside part. So on the outside part, we find our grey water tank, which is often at the rear of the van, just like so. So this is our grey water tank here. It is off here, symbolising the fact that it is cutting the pipe. Opening will cause water to come out, of course. Now this is a two-part system, or someone who's very quick on their feet and that can run through each area. What we do is we get our hose, freshwater hose, and we plug it to the red piped mains inlet. Click straight on there. Notice the difference, brass, red, brass, red. Red is the grey water tank, symbolised and symbolic with the red cut-off valve there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our fresh hose, plug it on here, and then we're going to shut this valve off, right? Because it's already closed off because we've been driving with it swooshing around. We need to then fill up the tank. So this is a deep clean method. Plug the tank, fill the tank up. As the tank approaches 75, 85, 95, once it hits 100% or thereabouts, or give it even 80, just a little bit of wiggle room while you use it for a few hours, then what we're going to do is we're going to wait. As long as you can, the more the merrier. If you can wait 24 hours before you empty the tank, fantastic. Because what we're doing is we're diluting that material, but we're allowing it to raise in the tank to get to that top perimeter area of the sensor probe and hopefully get off any final bits of grit and grime. That will clean the sensor. After you're done, it holds, and then you empty and drain to a point that you can get to that ideally isn't on a tree that's going to be a little bit impactful to the environment. So we try and mitigate that. This has been our cleaning tutorial on our grey water tanks. If you have any questions, give us a call on 9359 2938. head to our website, www.crusadercaravansmelbourne.com.au, or alternatively, like and subscribe for more. We'll see you on the other side.